why I built it and the people that are on my team. So now I'm actually really looking forward to it. So I hope that answers your question, but I think that's kind of where my head is. And of course, the book reiterates the importance of that with social media.
I apologize. I just started recording, Heidi. I didn't mean to do it and not tell you. I just want to let you know.
Totally fine at any time, of course.
Yeah, I think, however you can do that in a way that's impactful. But when we first talked, I was going to mention to you, there's a gal in Colorado that my daughter followed, our daughter followed, and she cooked. She had a kind of a very healthy food. I think it was when our daughter was pregnant the first time, and she had a lot of recipes that were, sort of prenatal and postnatal type recipes. But she built her business. She had an incredible farm or ranch in Colorado in the mountains, and she had a barn, and she converted this barn into this, sort of test kitchen, really, really beautiful test kitchen, dining area, and film studio. And she did all of her work there, literally in her backyard, and she built an incredible business. And this is 5 or 6 years ago. So she probably started a lot longer than that, probably started 7 or 8 years ago. So
Sure.
I always looked at that and said, if you can build something or kind of create something where it's congruent with your lifestyle, that's kind of the thing it has to be. It's like, it has to, whatever you do has to fit within what you're already doing and not interfere, because I don't think you don't want to be the kind of person that's walking around with a camera. My wife's friends with this gal. She's here in Vegas. She has an incredible following on social media. I mean, she's crazy. She owned, you probably know her. She owned Honore Donuts and Saint Honore, and she owned a bunch of restaurants here. And so she built her platform by owning restaurants. So she's a good example. That's how she had a platform, and she built her social, media around that.
Yeah.
And then her restaurant, she started getting invited to cater her gourmet donuts. I mean, they're really off to the Super Bowl party in LA, like high-end stuff.
Sure.
And she built this huge influencer platform. And today she doesn't even own those, she's closed most of her restaurants. I think she still owns the donut places, but she built this huge following in order to be able to do what she wants to do, which is really be more about travel and experiences. So she's an influencer now for Disney and for some of the big cruise lines and some of the big hotel companies. And it's not at all kind of what you or I want to do, but she did it using her existing platform, and then kind of grew that into what she really wanted to do, which was travel the world with her family and have lots of different experiences. So
I love that.
I always thought that was it's been interesting to watch her do that. Again, I have no interest in filming my family on a cruise ship somewhere, but for her, it's really where she wanted to go. And I think you can do the same thing, like what you're already doing, and whether you're gonna, like, I literally have what's called the Loom Cube set up here on my desk, where I film stuff every day from my desk.
Interesting. Okay.
It's super easy. I mean, I'll show it to you. It's
cute. I'm gonna write that down.
I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if you can actually see the setup. It's literally an iPhone.
That's kind of catching parts of it. Okay, I see it. Okay.
So it's just a light and a microphone, and stick it in my iPhone, and it's raw footage.
Okay.
But raw footage is what works today.
Okay.
So, highly stylized, highly scripted, highly edited is not what people relate to today.
Sure.
So, and I think part of it's,
I guess, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, part of it's the whole AI thing. They want to know that you're actually a person, not a bot,
Right.
not an avatar. Um, and so that's really what resonates. And so, and when you have interruptions, when you stutter, all those things, that's actually good. Um, so when you're talking to content people, one thing I think you got to be careful of is there's still people generally still want to sell you a service, their service, and it usually involves all the editing to get it to a certain level of presentation, and so many posts, scheduled posts. Whereas where I think this is going, where I at least where it's going from what I'm learning is the AI tools that are out there that can do this for you today at a very nominal cost. I mean,
Mhm.
I think this LumiCube setup was $200. We have a media room.
Mhm.
We've opened a media room with full
Very cool.
podcast capabilities, full cameras, lighting, everything. I mean, really nice room. And I think we spent 15 grand or something like that all in.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And that room used to cost, I mean, I have a friend that started podcasting years ago and he's done really, really well. And I mean, he's had, presidents and he's had big people. I think he spent 250 grand just to build his room and then he
Oh, I believe
enhanced it over.
you.
So today, what used to cost 250 grand today costs less than 25 grand.
Yeah.
And and in terms of editing and filming, and scripting, even between Claude, well, you can just literally script it. You can have the script on your iPhone,
Hmm.
reading it, and then you can edit it utilizing Opus Clips, and Opus Clips will take your content and break it into shorter snippets and then post it and schedule. You can literally schedule the posts. You can edit them, schedule them, enhance them. And then I actually use a platform called HeyGen to translate because we're wanting to do it
Sure.
in Spanish as well. So it takes all my posts
Wow.
it, and it looks like I'm speaking Spanish. It changes my lip sync and it changes my hand gestures to match the Spanish. And so,
Beautiful.
yeah, all of this is available today at literally, you know, minimal cost and
Right.
make, and it used to take a couple of hours to do the editing. Now it
Oh, yeah.
literally, I download it. It takes less than 5 minutes to edit it, enhance it, schedule the post. And I'm usually out now. I'm about 3 weeks out in terms of posts.
Beautiful. Okay. Wow, that's
Bec-
amazing. And are you doing that, if you don't mind me asking, for your platform through Capriotti, use your own platform, both?
Both,
Okay.
both. One thing,
Try and follow
um,
this.
and again, I'm learning here, so just to be can't just I'm not I can't state these things as like I know this to be true. It's more of a kind of what I'm learning and I believe to
Sure.
be true, and we'll find out. Having multiple channels, so having multiple YouTube channels is not a bad thing, right? Like,
Okay, sure.
so you could have one that's about your wellness center, but you could also have one that's just about um, you're teaching people how to get well, right? Different audiences. One's more about the startup of your wellness center. One's more about how people get well, and answering their
Mhm.
questions about that. And you could be posting the same content on both of them um, simultaneously. And then as you see what content people are responding to, commenting on, you can just schedule those posts to be reposted, right?
Sure.
Like that's actually the best way is like you start this, you put it out organically, some stuff will get a response, and it might just be because of your introduction line, which is super important, that, what they call the hook, the first 15 seconds or so, like
All right.
your opening question. But you'll see what gets a response, and then you just you repeat that. You schedule those to be repeated because obviously people, for whatever reason, and I've been surprised at what they respond to versus what I thought they would respond to.
Sure.
So
Yeah, that's great
this
information.
this is pretty doable, but it does take, you got to say, okay, I'm going to put an hour a day into this.
Totally.
Um, and right now learning it, I'm putting more than an hour a day, but the good thing about it is it compounds. Like once you start a presence, and then you start building on that presence, um, a year from now, it's like, wow, I have a huge presence. I started with very little, but it grew, and it kind of grows exponentially. It takes some time, and it's not transactional.
Right.
It's more educational.
Hmm.
Um, it's kind of like just sharing everything you know,
Yes.
and all of a sudden people are like, oh, and and oh, by the way, if you want to find out more about my center or about how I do things, just DM me or whatever, click and comment here, and I'll touch base with you. So learning how to use the tools, being very transparent, kind of just sharing your expertise and doing it on multiple channels will build your brand.
I love that.
Um, that's really it's not any more complicated than that.
Sure.
Um, and it'll build it not just locally, it'll build it to anybody that might be a potential client or customer or whatever.
Yeah, which is beautiful. Of course, for Avira, it's better for us to have a much bigger reach. But yeah, I love that. And these tools are really helpful because, again, this is an area where I certainly need to push and learn and grow. And one of those things is just the amount of time it takes, right? As I've been talking to some of these content people, we'll come, we'll shoot, we'll film, do all of the things, and then it'll take us a week or two to edit, and then you'll have 10 things. And I'm like, how in the world are we moving that slow? Like, in the kindest way, guys, like, there's a much better way to do this. So this is very helpful, David. Thank you for sharing that with me.
Yeah, I'm filming, editing, and scheduling for posts all at the same time, and it takes an hour.
And that's all yourself, right? You just do that yourself. Impressive. Yes. Oh, I'm excited. I can't wait to look into these things.
Yeah, now you could build a little podcast studio or a little place in your facility so that when people come visit, you could interview them. That's sort of the next level. That does take some expertise.
Sure.
um, but what I'm talking about, it's super simple. Your background, just doing it in your environment where people can see it, and then even walking around and the wellness center, and kind of, like, again, it's often the stuff that I had a post the other day that it's of one of our franchisees talking about being in business with his daughter, and it looked like he hadn't shaved in a few weeks, and it was pretty rough. And but I love what he had to say about being in business with his daughter and how great it was.
Totally.
So just kind of I took one video we had of him, um, Opus Clips, turned it into like 6 videos. I selected which ones I wanted. They all had different hooks, different headlines. I edited them. In like 5 minutes, I did the editing and posted them. And I was surprised that those actually outperformed some of the really highly edited ones that came through the film group that we engaged with, and paid quite a
Sure.
bit of money. Paid quite a bit of money too. So
Good to
it's
know. Yeah, that's wonderful.
yeah. So I think it's really just kind of getting started, getting comfortable, finding, and I'm again happy to show you the ones that we're using and the
Okay.
ones that I'm finding work versus don't work. Um, I'm doing it right now on the iPhone. That's literally that simple.
Yeah.
Um, you can either download a script app. There's a really good one. what's it called? Teleprompter.
Okay.
And the script apps, you can, well, some of the scripts I actually have Claude. I just went into Claude and said, tell me the most searched um, things for in restaurant franchises. And I just keep asking it different questions. It gives me different prompts. And I say, okay, write me a script on that. And then I put it in there, and I may use the script, may not, but at least it's kind of bullet points. Put it
Right.
into, and sometimes, a lot of times I don't use the script at all. Bless you.
Thank you. Excuse me.
So a lot of times I don't use a script. I'm just talking about something.
Okay.
And I think, the more honest you are about things, the more kind of transparent, like, hey, I know there's a lot of people out there that'll tell you this, but you know, this, let me tell you my experience.
Yeah.
And oh, by the way, I've been doing this for this many years and hundreds of people at the highest level and got a lot. So I think, the more expertise, again, more candid expertise that you can provide, the more it's going to break through the noise.
Yeah.
Um, and just always sharing. And oh, by the way, I've got this wellness center. I'd love to tell you more about it. That's it.
Great. Yeah. Thank you. That's very, very helpful. Yeah, I'm excited to look at all of that stuff and play with it because I think that speaks my language. I know there's a way to do it efficiently. And I am excited that, raw is better. And it makes sense that it would be nowadays. Because I think those are the things that have kept me from, always at like an arm's length of it. So I love that. I think this is great.
Yesterday, I looked at some film that we did. It's one of our investors, one of our board members. His name is David Barr. He's a very close friend. So what I'm about to say is, in respect of David, he is literally one of the smartest, most successful guys I know in franchising and in restaurants. He's sits on 20 different boards from Outback
Wow.
Steakhouse to, um, he's on Domino's International. He's one of the owners of Domino's China.
Wow.
He's, literally done it all.
Yes.
And he's really, really bright and lots of private equity groups. But um, he did some film for us probably a few years back. Um, and I was trying to edit it into clips and look at it, and it's very highly scripted. He's very careful about how he speaks. It was very appropriate for the way people delivered things then, just a
And
few years
true.
ago.
Sure.
Today, I looked at it and I was like, I can't really use this. It's not relatable. It's not what people are really responding to nowadays. And
Wow.
yes, it would be great, you know, if you're speaking to a group of private equity investors that were highly sophisticated, that type of delivery would be perfect. But
Right.
for just engaging with people, I was like, this is not what people are responding to anymore. I can't even use it. So
So
um,
interesting. Wow.
that's how much it's changed. Like,
Yeah.
and at the time, I remember thinking, this is the best stuff I've ever seen. And
Right.
today is like I can't even use it.
So
So
realistic. Wow.
I think if you can kind of start playing with some of these tools and just literally get your account set up. And then I think maybe on future calls, we can kind of focus on that, like how you're doing with that.
Sure.
Nice thing about this is like through Opus Clips, as you start getting some content up and getting your account set up and linking them into Opus Clips, what have you, and getting scheduled out with what you want posted, and how you do that. Number one, I think on these calls we can kind of answer questions you have, like you might be having trouble doing that stuff.
Thank
And
you.
so we don't need to wait, I don't think, for the call. If you run into problems, you can just say, hey, how you doing this? And either I know or I don't know the answer.
Okay.
And I'll help you with that. Um, but also this allows you to do it at your pace, not somebody else's schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't do it for 2 weeks, it doesn't matter, right? Like it's still going to be building, that people are still searching, still viewing,
Right.
all that stuff.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. That would be great. This would be a big help. And I didn't throw you off track of what you needed from me today by any means, right? Was your goal for today.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk through like my experience is you have to get started, and
Yes. Okay.
you're going to look at the stuff you do literally in 30 days. You're going to look at the stuff you're doing today and be like, oh, I can't believe I didn't know how to do that, or you know,
Sure. Yeah,
but
sure.
you just got to learn your way through it.
Yes.
Um, there is a guy on Instagram that I would follow.
Okay.
Um, his name is Omar. First name Omar, second name Crori, Eltakrori.
Got it.
He's
Okay.
he's he's a young guy. I think he's probably the best. He, he's probably the best at teaching people that want to do sort of what you're doing, what I'm doing, on how to actually do it. Like you, his program is expensive. It's like 30 grand
Wow.
to join his program. But you can learn a lot just watching his videos, and a lot of the questions that are going to come out of it, I can answer for you without you joining the program.
Great.
Um, he literally came over here and set up our media room for us. He's a friend from church.
Oh,
Um,
amazing.
he started as a pastor of church and just kind of has grown. I think he's literally kind of a Tony Robbins for today's, generation, younger, more
Sure.
relevant. He's, I don't know if he's black, or I don't know what his ethnicity is, but I think that's another thing he's got. He's a person of color of some, and so
Sure.
he relates to a somewhat different audience. And I follow him, but I'm also on calls with him every week and all that kind of stuff. And
Amazing. Okay.
um, his center is just down the street from us here, and I think he really kind of will speak to you in terms of what works and what doesn't work.
Great.
Don't hesitate. Get visible. Um, you know, a lot of stuff that Priestley kind of talks more about the strategic at a
Sure.
strategic level. Omar's more at the tactical level.
Love it. Okay. Love that.
That's sort of the layers how I think about it.
Okay.
So um, yeah, I think that would be a great start.
Sure.
Um, if you want to, I think maybe I don't know how often you kind of want to catch up. Like every other week or so, or something like that. I'm flexible. And just want to be helpful. So
Thank you, David. I really appreciate that. I think every other week sounds great. If you're okay with me sort of just shooting things your way along the way, and then of course, if I run into, any roadblocks or something, maybe I can request a little quick call or that kind of thing. But every other week sounds great because I think for me, realistically, that amount of time will allow me to actually work on these things, get them set up, play with them so that then the next time we have time together, there's been enough movement and it really, can create a progression. So right now that sounds pretty good to me.
if this time works for you, let's keep this time if that's okay.
Yes, yeah, that's great. Let me
Like every
just
other Thursday at 9 a.m. would be great. If one of us can't make it, we just move it or reschedule it or whatever. Um,
perfect.
that'll also give me enough time to kind of things change every two, you know. I had dinner or lunch with a guy here that owns a media company, a very successful media company called Neon Tiger. They really focus on this, and they
Okay.
do it. They do it for big companies. Does it for Disney and Top Golf and some other, and he does it for a lot of
Wow.
high level coaches. But my question to him was, how we're doing all this and it's right now this is working really well. How long is this going to work well for? Like,
Great
at,
question.
at what point does this kind of, like, it used to be Facebook ads or, just social media ads and Google SEO, that all worked, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and there's still a place for SEO and Facebook. There's still a place for that today, but this is really kind of what people are using to grow businesses fast, much, much more cost effectively,
Sure.
um, and in a way that leverages their personal brand. But how long is that going to work for? And
Right.
his answer, I thought was interesting. He said, "This process is not going to change. Like building this kind of system to engage with people and to build your brand and to eventually sell something will continue. The tools that you use to do that will change and new ones will continue to come out. So as I discover new ones or learn new ones, that, that's one of the things I want to share with you as I'm going along is, hey, we just found something that's even better than that. And
Yeah.
it's this, and, hopefully it's more cost effective, but at least it's more efficient and easier to use or what have you. So 2 weeks is enough time that literally things will change in that period of time. So
Yeah.
that's why I feel like that's a good pace.
Okay. Okay, great. Yeah, I think that sounds good for me too. Is there anything specific that I can do to be helpful for you and what you need? Of course I'll do these things and I
I think
guess along
just
the way I can share content or is just what, yeah.
that's it. I
Okay.
I just like you to share with me any links or anything that I can start following because I think
Okay.
just seeing it from a outside perspective
Hmm.
would be helpful so I can see how it's coming across and what it looks like and how it feels and I can give you some feedback on that. One of the guys I work with here does that. He's like, "Hey, man, I changed little things. I changed the color on your font to be a little more in line with the brand, or I'd move your captions a little bit. Just little stuff that
Sure.
you don't realize why you're doing it. Or I actually didn't even know how to edit it properly until he showed me how to do it. So
Great.
little stuff.
Totally. Okay. Um, Best ways to do that. Would you like me to follow your YouTubes and social links and send them that way? Would you like me to email, text? What feels
I
better for
don't care.
you? You don't
Whatever,
care.
doesn't matter.
Okay.
As long as I can get them, whether it's following back or texting, it doesn't matter.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. If you don't mind, could I have the best profiles for you so I can make sure I'm following those?
I'll send them to you.
Great. Okay.
I'll share them all with you.
Yeah, great. Okay.
All right. Well, cool. Excited.
Me too, David. Yes, thank you. This is awesome. I will just keep shooting stuff your way. If there's things you need, sending too much or too little, of course, no hesitation to push me and give me the right feedback to get there. And again, I just so appreciate you doing this. I think this is really incredible and it's a perfect time for me. It's a right push and it really is something I appreciate.
You really can't fail is the good news. It needs to be on your timing and needs to be, I think, within your comfort zone, but also you got to push a little bit and,
Right.
um, you just got to experiment at the end of the day. Like, I don't, there's not like some secret formula that I have, but I do know that this 100% is working for a lot of people.
Beautiful.
Um, and in a way that was not possible. It used to be you needed to hire your content firm. I'm like, they don't know you. They don't, their primary business is charging you for services. That's their business. And I
Mm-hmm.
know that they may love you and they may care about you, but at the end of the day, that's their, we pay a PR, multiple PR. Well, it used to be we had two PR firms and we've kind of consolidated down to one. And, you know, the schedule of posts, I'm like, this is glacial. Like,
Yes.
this is so, they're still, you know, charging us to do blogs and things. I'm like, a lot of money. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
sure.
okay, I'm glad you guys have a good business, but I don't want to be, I don't want to be beholden to that anymore. So,
Yeah,
but
again, relieved to hear you say that because you know, with Project Woman, my previous company, and then just even as I've, you know, worked with a few content people through Avira, it takes me more time to try to get them to understand me and the brand and the message. And then they put something together and then I'm like, you missed it. You got to adjust this. And by that point, I'm like, this is so crazy, you know? So I'm relieved to hear you say that. And I think it is one of the hardest parts. You know, I was telling one of the women that's coming today that's interested in doing some content. I'm like, the answer I think is really you have to just follow me around all the time. Like you have to be where I am for weeks before I could even say yes or no. We could, you know, move forward on creating content because it just takes, I think, that level of intimacy and time to really understand what in the world I'm actually talking about. So I'm relieved to hear you say that. I really, that this movement seems to work a lot with the struggles that I've had.
yeah, and the reality is you are the brand.
Right.
That's kind of what it comes down to. And you know, you can't do things the way that Canyon Ranch does things, right?
Right.
Like if you try to play that game, you're going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
But you can do things in a way that Canyon Ranch won't do things, right?
Right.
And
Yes.
be very different and be even a little provocative about some things and or
Sure.
honest. I'll call it honest.
Yeah.
And um, that you can literally beat them at that game because they won't do this. They
Yep.
can't. They're too corporate. And
Right.
you know, they have a board of directors and they're publicly traded or whatever it is, right? So
Mhm.
they won't do this. And
Right.
that's your competitive advantage. You
Love
paying
that.
somebody to try and be Canyon Ranch level quality of whatever, you're never going to win that game, right? You just
Never.
can't. So,
Yeah, I'm
all right,
glad
I'm
you said
excited.
that. Thank you.
All right, Heidi, we'll talk to you
Okay.
later.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you again.
Bye bye.
Bye.